Hello, my name is Dr. K, and my highest excitement is providing you with the tools, the strategies, and the technologies to help you evolve rapidly as conscious leaders in body, mind, and spirit so we can be the change that we've been waiting for. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with someone you love, and I will see you in the next video. You are a miracle, that you are the one that you've been waiting for. And well, what do you mean, Dr. K? How is this so? Well, what I mean is that your body is comprised of over 37 trillion cells. 37 trillion, give or take, always changing, always sloughing, always moving and growing. Over 25 million cells being produced a second, capable of producing billions and billions of different reactions per second. Wrap your head around that. Your heartbeat will beat today over 100,000 times. You will move 63,000 miles through your vessels, your blood. 63,000 miles of traveled blood just through your vessels, just by being today. And if you were to stretch your DNA out on end from here to the moon, it would reach back and forth 6 times. Not to mention that when you were actually fertilized, right? When your father and your mother came together and you were actually created, that you were the fastest swimmer out of trillions and trillions of sperm. You were the one that swam the fastest. So first of all, I want to be the first to congratulate you and me. Thank you very much. But it's really fun. It's really easy to put it in simple concepts like that. That you're sitting here watching this, or you're going about your day, you're at a sports event and you're drinking a beer, and you're not thinking about how your kidney is holding all the little tiny glomeruli are filtering, and your alveoli and your lungs are actually bringing in the oxygen and releasing CO2, not to mention that these trees, these redwoods, have survived on that CO2 forever, releasing oxygen back to us. We're literally mirroring back and forth to nature. And I wish I would have known this when I set out on this journey. I've been on the road, like I've mentioned in the past, for a couple of years, and I've been all over the world. And that's not what the Heartled Path is about. But the Heartled Path is about you emerging into whatever wants to flow through naturally without damming the water and damming the stream. What wants to flow through? What would you love to create? Is it a family? Is it a better relationship? Is it healing in your mother and father? Is it actually increasing abundance? Is it bringing something new in the form of medicine or art or working with nature? We need newness. And so the Heartled Path, and sorry about all the flies here, is always emerging. It's always emerging. And it's something that wants to come through. And so I just want to tell you that, first of all, everything's alive, just like in your body, your pH, your blood, your heart. There's a spark that's beating your heart. We're not going to talk about where that spark comes from. Medicine will just call it, well, it's electron transport chain and citric acid cycle. But there's actually a lot more magic to it, just like all these flies that just seemingly seem to be attracted to me here all of a sudden, is they're all alive. It's all alive. Every single drop of water in this stream, if you were to put it on a dew, on a leaf, it's alive. There's an entire universe in that. Just like this tiny drop of water we call planet Earth, there's an entire universe within us, just like an entire universe. We know more about the sky than we know about our own oceans on the earth. We're a very young species, the humans, and we're like the fish in the koi pond looking through the water thinking, is there anything on the other side of this meniscus of water? Is there anything out there? Let me assure you, they don't know about your relationship problems. They don't know about politics. They don't know about, student debt or, the blocks that are in your life, but they're still there. And there's so much available that we just don't even know about. But what I want to say is, I wish I would have known that the universe has got you. It's too perfect to be kind. It's too perfect to seem just. Had it been kind and just the way that I thought it should be, the way the Hallmark cards represent it and movies represent family and holidays, which are obviously not like that. If you've been to your around your family for the holidays, there's always some sort of like triggering. It's always that way. They don't show that on the beer commercial, you know. They'd say, "Hey, enjoy your family." Most people use alcohol to actually run from that. But that the universe has you. The universe has got you. It's beating your heart. It's breathing you. It's growing all of this gorgeous nature. Some of these trees are 1,000 years older than the history of the beginning of Christ. I mean, wrap your head around that. Long before you and I were here, long after we're gone. But in the city and in the busyness of your life and in the contractive state of, oh, this is really difficult and I'm stuck, there is no miracle. We forget that everything is happening and it's beautiful. And our only taste of it is when we go possibly to church or when we go to nature and start to listen. So the first step of the Heartled Path is just to know that the universe has got you, that you're here in your life. And what's happening is meant to be happening. Otherwise it wouldn't. Had I not gotten very sick and almost died at a young age, I was set for medical school. And I met an alternative practitioner that absolutely changed my life. And it hadn't have happened had I not gone through a serious breakdown and was very, very suicidal and trapped in my body for 2 years. It was hopeless. But out of that, I was able to give hope to over 40,000 patient visits. And then from there, oh no, it's not just, it's not fair, the universe doesn't have me, my heart wants me to quit this job. Well, I was my own employer, you know. I just had to say, hey, Kieran, I'm gonna have to let you go, man. My heart's calling. It was like, well, I totally understand that. But you know, on the other side, I was crying on the inside. I was like, oh no, I'm leaving. You don't have to leave anything, but realizing what wants to emerge out of you, what wants to come out of you. Me leaving now the castle that I had built that I thought was what society and what I wanted as a doctor actually ended up being me sitting here with you. So the universe is far too complex. There's far too much else going on. The earth is far too complex and there's so much else going on. There's a magic that's moving that we forget about when we're just looking at our screens, we're just on our computers, and we're just not listening to our inside. Not listening to me, not listening to somebody behind a podium or with a tie or a special hat or a little badge, but listening to you. What wants to emerge out of you? The universe, the nature of things, if the universe is too much of a stretch, it's got you. Nature has you. It's a divine flow. There's a divine plan with that. And we've complicated it. So today it's, you're a miracle. Relax, breathe, and before we begin, know that it's all working out. And what you don't see, all of that stuff and what you're going through, what actually got you to be interested in what I'm talking about, is that breakdown, is that difficult thing. And that, my friends, is the fertilizer where you can plant your new creation, your new life. And out of leaving what I thought was letting go of the castle of being a doctor and having an office and everything I built, now I'm doing it. I mean, look at this office. Guess what? The rent is free. There's tons of fresh air. There's zero traffic. I'm far more abundant than I ever thought was possible. And this is what's possible for you. It doesn't have to look like what I'm doing. It has to look like what is wanting to flow through you. And you may not even be conscious, but if you can get out of the way of your own stuff and your own story, your own self, and I hope to help you, give you some of the tools that I learned along the way as a student of life, just a little further down the trail. This is why you hire a trail guide to say, hey, don't go to the left. It's actually pretty dodgy. You could fall right off the cliff there, you know. Do it this way maybe, or try this. This is a little easier way to start a fire, or this is how you read a compass, or This is how you catch fish versus trying to go out there and like throw a stick at it and just be like, I didn't catch any fish today. That's why you bring someone in on your team. So I'm excited to be here with you. I really am. And I'm excited to be sharing because it's such a reflection of me, of how easy and how possible this is. And I didn't know it when I started off. So I love you, and I'll be talking to you soon. If this video was inspiring and empowering, make sure you share it with someone you love, like, subscribe, and click the bell so you don't miss a single thing. And I will see you in the next video.